One right now.
Yeah, right now. Hey, good
Hi.
evening, Annie.
Good evening.
Scano, nice to see you, Dennis. It's I see you very often these days, but it's always good to see you. I feel grounded when I see you.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
want to
that's a good thing, I think.
It is, I just
Yeah.
like to acknowledge
Yes.
that you really bring that to this that essence to even everyone that we're spending time with. So it's really great to spend time with you this evening, and we'll welcome everyone that will be joining us. I'm sure people will be popping in and out at different times, but nice to see you, and
Yes,
thank you
you
so much
too.
for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I always look forward to our conversations and whatever else we might be up to.
Yeah, right. I
Mhm.
feel like there's so much happening right now. There's somebody had mentioned to me, it's in the stars right now. It's in the air. It's in the we're in this new time. I've heard many elders say like the new world where
Yes.
people right and I'm just so honored to be on this journey and then being able to bring the healing journey to our community here in Halton, and not just Halton. I'm behind the scenes, so I'm dealing and working with directly people that are reaching out saying like, what's this about, and can I come, and who can we invite, and
Hmm.
why are we doing it. And so this is why we created this space this evening, is just to bring a
Hmm.
little more understanding, invite those that are still considering, and just really set this space up and let people know why we're
Hmm.
doing this, what to expect. Maybe we don't want to share too much about
Hmm.
the beautiful day that we have, but it's definitely time to talk about this, and then also share that you'll be in our community a day earlier. So you'll be spending some time offering one-on-one sessions and time, visits with community and anyone that wants to meet you and find out more about themselves and the work that
Oh,
you do.
oh, yes, that's interesting, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy connecting and being of any help that I can be, and it's always very gratifying.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Everything that we're doing and the team that we have, moving along with this is they continuously say like, how, why, this is such a gift
Hmm.
to be involved in something like this. So, I think let's just, if we can tell a little bit of the story, how we met you, and then I think it's really important that people understand the vision, and where we are today in this time, and and you know what's really moving us to bring people together in this way, to share with them this knowledge that you've been using and practicing for so many years, that has really moved people into healing themselves. So I
Hmm.
met you. Sherry, and I met you, right? And I love to tell the story because I think it was a great beginning for Sherry and I in our journey.
Oh yeah, when you were out in, well, we're in Ottawa at the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And you
little
were
did we know we would meet again later on.
Yeah,
About
well, I think maybe it was my persistence. I put it out there and I said to Sherry that day, we need this guy in our community. Like that's exactly what I said to her. I still have all of the tools that you gave us that day, that we left with, your handouts, and there was just something that I knew that was in what you were doing that moved me anyway into my continued to support me on my healing journey. But yes, you were delivering a nice workshop there, and so you were. I really believe there's so many like you that are out there doing this work. We don't ever want to say that there's no one
Mhm.
else doing this in what you're doing, and how we practice as Indigenous people and healers,
Yes.
right? And I think that that's really what you bring to this. And I don't know if there's anything in that you'd like to speak to about what you've created here, through your what we'll be looking at and what you'll be sharing that day.
Well,
um,
I think just in life, like they say, you meet people for a reason, right? And you may not know what that reason is about. But in my lifetime, I've met so many people that have had influence in the work that I do today, whether it's sitting with somebody who's been through a trauma and hearing their teachings and what they do to take care of themselves, what they did to get through it. And there's so much knowledge, there's so much wisdom in that. And also the many teachers I've had over the years in different various programs and different ways of working with people, and looking at all those ways, but always picking out the ones that really resonate and to bring it all together. And um, it's gathering all of this knowledge and information over time, and also building it into your own background, like, because we all come from somewhere, right? We all have people around us and people who are influential, and one of them is my father. And so listening to a lot of those teachings and listening to the teachings of elders that I've met across the country over many years, it all comes together. And studying in university and breaking it down into a indigenous way of understanding it and knowing, it just, to me, it's like everything has been in the environment, in the world, and it all comes together. And I guess, and part of that also is my own personal healing journey, um, uh, because I've had the honor of going through different types of therapy over time. Some were very positive, and some were not so positive. But whatever it is, it helps to learn and to know what you can develop and what you can bring. Because it's, elders always say, life, you learn from it, you learn your lessons. There's lessons under every stone, in every leaf. And so we find those lessons in many different places, and it's what we do with it that's what's important. And like you said earlier, um, I'm not the only one that does this kind of work out there, because I have colleagues who do very similar work, and but similar, but it's also different, because we're all different, and our experiences are different, and our understandings are different. So we have a commonality, but yet at the same time a very uniqueness to it. And that's what I really like to share out there in the world. Um, at one time, I had a bit of a struggle with that, because I thought knowledge has to be for me to be the best.
Mm.
And then I realized, there's only one of us in this world. So when it comes from you, it's very unique, and you can teach and give tools and teach these tools, and it's going to be very unique to them, and their understanding of life and the world. So it really brought me comfort in knowing that, um, you know it's okay to share knowledge, because and skills, because it helps everybody, it helps all people in this world, that come into contact.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's all of that is just real. And it's real how I acknowledged, that my own healing journey, was through understanding, having a better understanding of what it means to be Indigenous.
Hmm.
And right. And I was so grateful, and still am, obviously, to the grandmothers and the people that have, showed me, or, I want to say guided, but just lived in a way that I wanted to learn how they could be so humble and so forgiving and gracious to themselves for not being perfect or just being on this journey of healing. Because from what I feel like I've learned is, like you and your parent, my parents I've learned from, and whether it be, the good qualities, other qualities, whatever that is, things that I resonated with or didn't like, I'm realizing that those are still the things that have made me who I am today. And so I learned a lot from getting to know the elders and those who have guided me to the Indigenous understanding. So
Mm-hmm.
it resonated with me that when I met you, because I knew I was on this path with Sherry. My background and everything that I've done in my life, I've always been curious and wanting to know more about my indigeneity. We'll say, I don't know if that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was Indian. My dad said I was Indian, and I'm realizing that subconsciously I was on this journey to understand that more.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I not see it here? Why is it not reflected in community? And then, all of a sudden, over years I met Sherry, and then I ended up with you. And there were things that you said in that day that I really felt like it was my father speaking, or, just, reassuring me that I'm on the right path.
Okay. Yes.
Right. And so that's, when we started to really develop what our vision was, this collective vision of grandmother's voice,
Mm-hmm.
you said, we don't, we're not doing it for any other reason except to gather people who have who want to do this together, who need that support and are looking for a place to be inspired or connected. And so, I know in that day, Sherry and I both had this experience. I don't, won't speak for her, but I know my experience with her. We healed together on that day that we first met you. And whether it was our spirits or something, we knew that in that day we were on this journey together. And so you've referred to it as the healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it was that light bulb. And we just, from that day, were like, oh, everyone should meet this person. Everyone should meet these practices and understand how to nurture yourself, how to forgive yourself, and how to, utilize what was given to us by the Creator. And so this is, one of the reasons why we brought you here today was there are so many people questioning, am I allowed? Am I allowed to be a part of this healing journey? Am I allowed to learn these practices? And then I was saying to you behind the scenes, all the people who were saying, why do I get to do, like, this is such a gift. And we just keep telling them it's because we're all gifts, and we all have to connect with our gifts.
Yes, that's right. And healing is for everybody. It's not only for Indigenous people. It's for everybody. It's for all people. If we follow the teachings of that circle of life and the diversity in there, it's very inclusive of all people, and we can share knowledge, we can share teachings, but at the same time we also have to be mindful and respectful to our elders who say to us to keep our teachings sacred, and to because it needs to be validated. We need to be given credit, like this is knowledge that comes from our people, and that needs to be acknowledged as such. It's not information that's I guess with some information we do have to acknowledge Indigenous people's contribution to healing, contribution to psychology, contribution to medicine, and and to stop putting us outside of that circle of healing, because we have contributed and we still contributing, and we will always contribute to that way of healing. And it's not only centered to Indigenous people. And it's great that Indigenous people, go on that healing journey. But when we look at, if we're going through reconciliation, we must become allies in our healing journey and journey together to the good life, to Biimaadiziwin, and to be the medicine that we need to be when we heal our histories, that when we heal our current situations, we become that medicine, because medicine is not separate from us. It's we are one and the same. We are medicine, and we can be that medicine for other people also. And I think that's what's happening in the world today. Even with a lot of um, the pain and the hurt that goes on in the world, it's when it's the way people approach that, they can become the medicine that they need to be for other people out there.
Mm, yeah, thank you. So much to say in that little that little bit. My mind always races to,
Mhm.
what I advocate so much for, and not making people, wanting to ever make people feel uncomfortable in the knowledge that they've developed, but exactly what you said, acknowledging what has been here for many centuries, right? That understanding of healing, the holistic approach, the that way, and that understanding. We live in this world, and what colonization and education and westernization, what all of that means is that, you know, what was here before the visitors came wasn't good enough to them. This is just my analogy. Just I
Mhm.
say this to my kids, trying to get them to understand in a way that is why there's this movement right now of including indigenous practice, indigenous understanding, because it's there, it's in there, it's
Mhm.
inherently already in all of the teachings, but it's
Mhm.
not acknowledged in that
Mhm.
understanding, right? And it's time for indigenous people to move into that place of being able to share and say and move into that place of what's the word I'm thinking of, like I don't want to say owning it, but
Well, having a space, right?
having the space, yeah.
Yeah, having that platform, having that ground that we stand on, and to say we are environmentalists, we are doctors, we are, you know, because we may not have the degrees, but we've always had those, like, environmentalists. We've always had the experts in the field. That's how we survived, right? That's how we survived, because to address famine, people had to understand the nature, the land, the animals, and the patterns and everything, in order to get the food, to bring it home, to share it. And we
Mhm.
had to have our visionaries. We had to have our doctors. And I look at my own community, in the history of my community, and I do believe we always had an election system, but it's very different than how it is today, as set out in whatever way that we're following in how we do our elections. But back then, the person had to show that they are a good hunter, they're a good provider, they are medicine people, they are visionaries, right? And that's how they earn that leadership role. And because it's there, those skills need to be there, and those skills have always been in our community, but they haven't really been, like I said, acknowledged and validated. We've been, there's been this propaganda. These people, these Indians, are backwards, they're childlike, they're not educated, and we
Mhm.
were just dismissed. And that is what we need to change, is that
Yes.
is that mentality, to unravel all of that way of thinking, to decolonize that. Not only because when we look at colonization, it's not only the colonized that get colonized, it's also on the other side, right? Because they'll start to believe that propaganda, and it's taught in very secret ways, in institutions.
Yeah. There's a whole other hour talk right there. We always do this.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, there's so much that we could continue on, but let's,
No, for sure.
we invited this space here, created this space for those that are interested in wanting to be a part of this, but we're questioning, well, what's it about? And so just understanding that, this is a collective vision, what we're creating here. This is not, I like that phrase, one and done, right? We are moving across, you're moving across this country, this, space and communities to really move people into healing, into understanding that we deserve a better life. You deserve a better life.
Yes, we all deserve a better life, the best life that we can be. Because, like one of my teachers always said, life will never be fair, and it'll never be fair in your lifetime. But you can move it to fairness with what you learn, with what you bring, and the attitude and what you have today. And I do encourage people to come out, because I know you will receive a gift, and that gift comes from you, comes from inside. I remember the presentation I did in Ottawa when you and um, uh, who else?
Sherry.
No,
Sherry.
Jerry. Okay, yes, when you
Yeah.
and Jerry were there, and we did two exercises, and one of them is about connection, because you would feel that connection, how we are leaders and followers. It was like an embodied experience that
Mhm.
that keeps you present, that keeps you grounded in the here and now.
Mhm.
And the other one was another exercise that where you experience a shift in the body when you have this aha, when you get this answer. And oftentimes in our healing, that's what we're looking for, is why am I feeling like this? Why am I going through this? Why do I have this stress? Why can't I take care of it? Or how come it keeps coming back? And when you really get to the core of it, to the root of it, and you unhook it, or you know,
Mhm.
there's that shift in the body. It's like it just lifts. Oh, aha, now I know why. Because you actually don't figure it out from here, because this is where people get stuck trying to figure it out up here. Instead, the answer comes from inside. It comes from that very sacred space that we make contact into, and we get the answer, and we get the and it's those forces in life that bring us there. And I know, if the people that are going to come out, they'll get to experience firsthand the things that I'm talking about. Because it's one thing hearing it over the video, right, over
Mhm.
a live stream, but it's something else when you're experiencing it in person with the people around you, and the connections you make, and the shifts in the body that you go through.
Mhm.
And
Well, you'll be happy to know that the group that we did circle with and did some filming with in the fall with you to prepare us for this journey with you,
mhm,
will be there, and we'll have some very respectable elders and community that will really support the space, support
mhm,
our plans. We have some fun, whenever we get together, it's always fun. So,
yeah,
when people are looking at, they're like, wow, this is a lot of information. And can this really happen? And, I really wanted to put out there what you can experience here. And
mhm,
you get those people that are like, that's a lot of stuff. Are you sure you can do that? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like,
mhm,
if you create that space and the right people are there and everyone's coming for this, deeper understanding and just really wanting to be there, it's
mhm,
amazing the magic that will happen in the energy. Like you were saying, when you're with that person that you can trust. And even though we don't know each other, many of us will not know each other. We are creating that circle of trust, and we are creating that space to ignite is what I really believe, that we are really igniting something that will really make that space. And we're in the right time, I think, with all of
Mhm.
this noise happening in, with the elections and all this other stuff. Spring, happening, people getting out. It's the right time.
Mhm.
It's the
That's
right
right.
time to have you visit.
Spring is a time for growth, rebirth.
Yeah. Yeah. Rebirth. Yeah.
And
Everything that we're talking about right now is all about that. So, I just,
planting the seeds. Yes.
yeah, everything that we do is that. And I love that we are, we're guided by, our, like, the grandmas and you, and everything that we do is really from those who have been here, right? That are believing in the change has to come from within. It has to come from community. It has to come from the ways that we have not been living from. And so that's what this healing journey, is all about on May 24th. So we wanted to bring the space together. And I feel like I'm missing something. We're going to talk a little bit about what's on the agenda, but you can see all that at
Mhm.
on our website and on our Facebook page, and you'll
Yeah.
see it kind of circulating more in our community. But something that you did share with us, and what I'm really excited about, but it didn't mean to like make you work more, but you're coming in a day or so earlier, right? And so you've offered to have some one-on-one sessions with time or visits with people who are
Yes.
really interested in sitting with you.
Yes. Like I wanted to offer that because I know some people are questioning, well, how is this different? How is this helpful? How do you experience this? And people will have a chance to experience that the day before the gathering. And
Mhm.
and I think that's an important piece. And
Mhm.
because people will, like, I can't see everybody. I wish I could,
Mhm.
but we have a limited amount of space for people the day before to come in and to go through their own personal healing prior to the gathering.
Mhm. And that space too, we thought we'd offer to those who maybe couldn't come on the Tuesday and
Yeah.
wanted to begin their journey, and maybe spend a little bit more sacred time, I guess, for themselves with you. And those who feel called to visit with you will be able to find that information. It'll be on our website. It will be in our social media. And our healing journey with Dennis Windego is just beginning. When we met you and we started to spend time with you, your vision and what you create in communities that are maybe in crisis or really needing love, and this kind of teaching and understanding, is you've been doing this a long time, and
Yes,
it's been working.
was back many years, but I guess the work changes a lot. As the person grows, as person develops, as they understand life and understand themselves more. And I believe that the work is always going to transition. It's always, we can always build on that.
Hmm.
And that's what I like to share. And for participants, I know that they'll walk out of there with one or two tools that they can use immediately in their life, whether it's for the way they're going to listen to other people
Hmm.
or the way they do self-care and self-awareness. And the tools can be interchangeable, whether it's for therapy and for healing in that way, or for awareness, right?
Hmm.
Self-care. And just, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a therapist to use the tools, and you will know what your limits are.
Hmm.
Because I hope that there will be healers, therapists that come in, and how it can build on and enhance what they already know, what they already do. It's not about replacing anybody's tools. It's about building on those tools,
Hmm.
and including people that do their own self care. It's to enhance that, just to create more of that sacred bundle that we need to have for healing ourselves and for and how we help others to heal and how we journey with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the goal, is to have them walk out with more tools in their sacred bundles, and to use them in a safe and effective way.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to tell you all the secrets and who's coming, but we have a beautiful mixture of, just different sectors and people that are coming, and groups of teams coming in to grow together and learn together. And I'm getting a little emotional because I feel like this is the biggest honor, besides having my children, I want to say, in my life. I'm not even kidding you,
Mhm.
Dennis. Like I
Yeah.
sometimes am wondering why, um,
Yeah.
but I know why, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I know that this is just a time, and somebody's got to do it, and it's you to
Mhm.
start this and bring as many people along with this journey of healing communities, creating those spaces at work. That's a really important piece. We have these business and corporations that have, our most of our community working within their spaces,
Mhm.
right? And those are people that go to work every day and come home, and you have this little window of learning, right,
Mhm.
in regular everyday life, and they
Mhm.
spend so much time. And so we have several corporations and organizations coming that want to create that space at work, right? That And so it's so important, and so just great. So yeah, so everyone that's watching and that will be sharing, we are. Oh, so someone's just asking a question. Yeah, it's actually not happening. It's happening in person, Beverly, and it's on our website. It's happening in Milton off the 401 in at Country Heritage Park, in our beautiful space there, Heritage Barn, and it's going to be a pretty big venue. We have a lot of outdoor. We're going to have. There's just a lot of experiential things happening that day that will definitely move you into a new, I think, a space of self-love and care for community. So I'm really honored to be in this relationship with you, Dennis, and everyone else. I know that I can, in this space, I can speak for all of the volunteers, you know, uh, double and triple digits, actually, that people that are really excited to be a part of what we're doing, happening on the, in the social media side of it, all of our technology, and in person. We're excited to have you on May 22nd or May 24th, and it's a Tuesday, and it's not on the May 24 weekend. It's after the May 24 weekend, because Dennis said you learn more. You after a nice break. So that's what he said. Yeah. So anyway, it's on in Ontario, Beverly, but we were just talking about Manitoba. So keep in touch with us. Give us a call, and we'll connect you with Dennis. Thank you so much, Dennis, and we look forward to seeing you in a week or so. And travel safe.
All right. All right. Thank you for having me here. And
Bon appétit.
uh huh.
Oh.
Which